welcome you to our VSI webinar here on Thursday evening. My name is Rick Hager, and I'm going to kind of help push through the slides here this evening as we go into a very special webinar tonight titled Adrenal Fatigue with Dr. Rouse. And for those of you that have been on these webinars on Thursday nights, you know that we have just great information with regard to your health and your well-being and how the VSI products can kind of play a positive role in that. And if you're new to these particular webinars, well, you're in for a treat because Dr. Rouse really knows his stuff. He's a doctor of natural medicine. He's also a pharmacist, and he understands pharmacology of how these nutrients and ingredients can affect our health and our well-being. And from a health and wellness standpoint, he's lectured all over the place on how to have a healthier, stronger, better body, how to lose weight, how to feel better. And if you've never had the opportunity to see him at an event, you want to make sure when we come to your town and there's a meeting in your area, you want to make sure that you get to that event because you will learn some amazing things. And without further ado, what I want to do is just, Dr. Rouse, pass it right over to you to kind of open up, and I'll control the slides here. Anytime you need me to change the slide, just let me know, and we'll go ahead and make sure that the next slide gets up on the screen for you. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dr. Rouse.
Hey, and thank you, Rick. And, you know, I was thinking about when you said catch a lecture by Dr. Rouse. I perhaps have lectured hundreds of times on health and nutrition, and there probably is no more dramatic effect on your overall health than the subject that we're about to delve into right now. The adrenal glands have a huge impact on your mental and physical health. So much so that I would say more than any other organ or any other gland in your entire body. It's major, even above and more important than the thyroid deficiency. And if you are somebody tonight or know somebody who is tired for no reason, or even having trouble getting up in the morning, or using caffeine to keep on going, or feeling run down and stressed, or you just know that you're craving salty and or sweet snacks, you're overwhelmed, you're unable to bounce back. When you get sick, you just can't get back, and you're not having fun anymore, then listen in, because we're going to show you tonight how to return and recover energy. And when that happens, you're going to have a better immune resistance, you're going to have a lot more vitality, and you're certainly going to have more enjoyment in life just by listening to what we're about to say. So, Rick, let's jump on it, see what the slide is, and pretty much just get in there and talk about it is, because what is adrenal fatigue? Well, two little glands on top of the kidneys. You know, you got two kidneys. They're about the size of an acorn, and you have a gland over here on this kidney, one over here on that kidney. And one part of the gland, that one gland itself, is broken down into two matrices, and one part of the gland triggers flight or fight. You've heard of adrenaline. This is where it comes from. The adrenal glands, adrenaline. And when you got to get up and go and get out of the way so you don't get run over, flight or fight, including which includes increases in blood sugar levels immediately, helps your rate of breathing, gets your cardiac output pushing. The other part of the gland, same gland, the adrenal gland, that part controls the metabolic side, the mineral balancing, the immune defense. And as you can see, when we described or we begin to put adrenal fatigue in perspective, adrenal exhaustion occurs when the gland itself wears out. And it happens with continual stress. Whenever you are beat up financially, mentally, emotionally, in the family, on the job, whatever it is that has stressed you to the hilt, burning the candle at both ends, somebody lights the candle in the middle and your wax is gone. That makes your hormone cortisol to skyrocket. It elevates out the kazoo, and that leads to chronic fatigue. But most importantly, the adrenal exhaustion then promotes hormone imbalances. Insulin will not do right. Thyroid cannot do right. And the adrenal glands and the thyroid glands are sisters. I mean, they're kissing cousins. They are definitely linked. And when one gets weak, the other will try to help out, and the other will borrow from the other. And what happens is when stress continues and nutrition doesn't, and things don't get back into sync, then both the adrenal and the thyroid become stressed. And if the adrenal glands become stressed, the thyroid gland produces less thyroid hormone, and when the thyroid gland produces less thyroid hormone, then the adrenal gland starts producing less adrenal hormones. So the major cause, the bottom link, what is adrenal fatigue? It is the end result of a very stressful life. All right, Rick, let's go to the next slide, and we begin to truly diagnose or look into the person who is whooped. I would challenge you that home testing, you can do it right there at your home. Test yourself at home for an adrenal problem. First, sit down in a chair for 5 good, relaxing minutes and take your blood pressure 5 minutes into the sit down. And as soon as you get through with your blood pressure, stand up, immediately stand up and take your blood pressure again. And if the reading of your blood pressure is lower when you are standing than when you are resting in the chair, you can suspect decreased adrenal gland function. You probably have already been hit with a lot of the scenarios that are showing up on the screen. And when we talk about it, when we get into female anatomy and we ask the ladies, describe it. What do you think? What's the worst part of it? And almost every single one of them will tell us very quickly that it's fatigue, and if they're still having menstrual cycles, it's premenstrual tension. And for a lot of them, it's extreme hot flashes and night sweats. And unfortunately, insomnia gets in the mix all the time. These people are able to go to bed, they'll get their head to the pillow, they'll close their eyes, they'll begin to get a little snooze, and then kaboom, maybe midnight or beyond, just a little bit afterwards, they wake up. You go to bed, 3 hours later, you find yourself wide awake, and it's a miserable toss and turn the rest of the night. That's the adrenal gland. That's the adrenal system. And if you're very sensitive to perfumes, or you're very sensitive to smells, sensitivity to environmental sensitivities, people get around bug spray and they have a conniption fit. They get around the hairspray. All kinds of things will throw them out of whack. And because the adrenal system is down, the thyroid gland is down, the blood sugars are having a catch-up fit, poor concentration. You just can't stay focused. It's like, man, we're giving you a double dose of attention deficit disorder. And then when you finally do get up out of the chair, out of the bed early in the morning, rest of the mid-morning into the early afternoons, no energy. You're pooped. You don't have to get up and go. And if you get up one smidgen too fast out of your chair, you've had it. You're dizzy. You see spots. That's because your blood pressure is dropping. See, a while ago we said if you have blood pressure that goes down when you stand up, that's adrenals. That's your kidneys. And because now you didn't sleep well, and because all of the blood sugars are down and bottomed out, the thyroid is sluggish, the adrenal system is slow, irritability and nervousness and anxiety. Sometimes the heart will beat too fast. Sometimes the brain just gets a conniption fit. You just choke down. Shortness of breath. Hey, one person here gave me insight many years ago, who had a hypothyroid, a low thyroid, and she said her knees always hurt. And I said, no way. And sure enough, fix the thyroid, fix the knees. And then over here on the adrenal side, everybody who had adrenal exhaustion, their knees were not nearly as good as they were. Some of them were thinking they needed knee replacements, but what they needed was a good boost to the kidney function so that their adrenals would work. Look in their eyes and watch their eyelids twitch. Look over there when they're sitting down and laying on their bed and trying to relax, and watch their calf muscle twitch. It's like they're restless. It's like, what's going on here? Let me put the stethoscope and listen. And sure enough, it will listen to the pulse, listen to the heart, listen to the rhythm, and it's palpitating. It's a thump a bump and not hitting in a smooth rhythm. Tell these folks that when they get out at night and they're riding down the highway, they can't stand even the low headlights, let alone somebody come on with a high headlight. You get them around an intense flash on a camera, they have a hard time readjusting. It's all in the kidney. It's in the adrenal system. And as I said right at the top, if these folks had any inkling that their cravings for salt, sugar, junk food, and coffee were related to the kidney and the adrenal fatigue, they'd probably wonder what's going on. So let's move on to the next slide and look at the actual causes of it. And we made mention of it a while ago. It's stress. It is the world in which you live. Stress causes the hormone cortisol to peak. And when you have high levels of the stress hormone cortisol, then you're going to have trouble. You're going to start seeping and losing calcium in your teeth, in your bones, in your jaw. And unfortunately, it goes in the wrong places and embeds in the arteries. So the bones get weak and the arteries get stiff. That's bad news, because that means cardiovascular heart problems right around the corner. The immune system, the white blood cells do not function properly. The immune system is more prone to shingles, pneumonia, flu, cold, viruses, bacterial infection, urinary tract infection, fungal infection, you name it. You got people that have had an antibiotic in the last year, you more than likely were already adrenal exhausted to start with, that caused your immune system to be compromised. And because the power of the exhaustion is so severe, these people can't motivate, can't walk, can't get around very well, and fat really does accumulate. It's in the omentum, the belly fat, the midsection, and with all that going on, it's misery. Young folks who have adrenal deficiency, their days of conception, having children, are going to be put on the back burner. Infertility is a major high count in adrenal exhaustion. When people take care of adrenal exhaustion, trying to have and conceive a family, much, much easier. And so here they sit. I'm dog tired. I'm already non-able to concentrate. I'm irritable. And lo and behold, I can't seem to remember anything. And so it is a mess. It is a primary big mess. Let's go take the young lady who is perimenopause or menopausal, or the young lady who's had a hysterectomy and their ovaries are beginning to shut down. Well, during menopause or perimenopause, the workload of the adrenals is designed to increase the glands, and because of that, during the menopause time, the adrenals are just going to work harder, and then because they don't have the ovaries producing the estrogen or the progesterone, next thing you know, the adrenals become the primary source for their sex hormones, which now depletes the whole system, including the thyroid, even more so. And women who work, and that's almost the greater majority, when they come home after a 9-hour day at the office or the workplace, and they're already stressed from the job, then they have a full-time job. It's like, man, I've got this, and this still to do. And taking care of a family burns the candles at both ends, causing the cortisol to remain elevated. See, cortisol is designed by God, the Creator, to be your workhorse in the day, but to come down nice and smooth and low and slow at night, so you sleep better. And so your body hits the pillow, you try your best to get a little cat nap. Yeah, you might catch a few winks, and then boom, you're back up all night, and it's misery. So as we go to the next slide, we start getting some good news. We say, well, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to intervene. We're going to put nutrition into the mix, and the nutrient-dense, the superfoods that are packed out, the whole foods. We're not talking about vitamins. We're talking about nutritional, whole, super dense superfoods. And these things, they're going to come to our rescue, because you understand, We live in a very toxic world. The body is constantly battling the antigens that are against us. The word antigen just means not you. There's a lot of stuff in you that doesn't belong to you, that is not of you, and the body is saying, out of here. It's sending little macrophages, it's sending white blood cells, it's sending T cells and lymphatics. It's doing all it can to get rid of all that gunk. And there is no doubt that the toxic load is caused by the allowable chemicals that are getting into everything. Of the 70,000 allowed chemicals in the world market, 20,000 of those rascals are cancer-causing, carcinogenic. And with the onslaught of artificial colors everywhere, artificial flavoring agents everywhere, artificial preservatives everywhere, over 1.2 billion pounds of pesticides being sprayed hither and yon, 9 million pounds of antibiotics being dispersed every single year. No wonder the immune system is taking a major hit. No wonder the energy levels are flat and fatigued. The immune system is what needs to come back. And it has billions of little Pac-Men, little macrophages doing billions and billions of cleanup jobs every day. This enormous amount of activity requires enormous amounts of power to keep on going. Therefore, in order to have any usable dynamic energy, you have to take care of the basic necessities first and foremost. Welcome to the VZI Wellness. That little Arctic berry, that little berry has the power of the whole foods to provide all the nutrients that you need every day to support all the functions: thyroid function, adrenal function, cardiac function, kidney function, liver function. And it's designed to help reduce the effects of stress. It is anti-aging. It regulates the good things. The cardiac, the heart, by increasing oxygen utilization. And because it becomes your tonic, that means you're going to feel better. You can overcome the nervousness and the hormonal and the digestive and even the reproductive challenges. And when you come in and you start daily putting on the whole food, dense superfoods, you're going to improve your energy. You're going to support the white blood cells, the T cells, the B cells, the immune system. And you have the super antioxidant effect in, and the anti-inflammatory effect kicks in and starts putting out all the fires in your knees and in your back and everywhere else that it's aching. And then you go over there, and now it can come talk to its sister and help you assist in the conversion of thyroid to the T3 thyroid hormone, which is usable. And when that happens, you normalize the reactions, you see, to the physical stress, the mental stress. You got to put things in perspective. You got to protect against the environmental pollution. You got to regulate the blood sugars. You got to protect the liver. You got to look after the adrenal system. And when all this stuff happens, you finally get a good, sufficient night rest, which means you're going to feel healthier the next day. You're going to be less nervous. You're going to be able to improve your physical endurance. We're talking about nutraceutical intervention. And I've got some super great news. The secret is not out, but I'm just sharing it in a little bitty way. If you come to Atlanta, when you come to Atlanta, I'm going to be able to share with you the world's best adrenal nutrition that I've ever seen. It's going to be in the VZI family. It's going to be introduced in a very special way. Not going to tell you what's in it, not going to tell you what it looks like, not even going to tell you what it's all about. But I promise you, in the meantime, the VZI Wellness becomes your number one charge. When you come to Atlanta this next Saturday, you're going to learn that VZI has taken care of business because we knew that people need help with the adrenal system. It's the major fault in people who can't lose weight, even when they're VZI on the weight loss system. So if you're looking to be one of those who wants to increase your energy, endurance, and well-being, if you want to be rejuvenated and increase your performances in every aspect, if you want to enhance your immune function, if you want to reduce pain and inflammation, if you want to have the best of antioxidant properties that fight those mean, nasty, hateful free radicals that damage your body, if you want to put on the best anti-aging nutritional program you can and give yourself the best cardiovascular protection, then pick up, for goodness sakes, that little yellow box every single day and watch what happens. In concluding tonight, Rick, I'm talking about simple things people can do at home. And if you are stressed right now, before you go to bed tonight, go ahead and close your mouth and breathe. Feel your lungs through your nose until your abdomen rises. Go ahead, just breathe in deep, real deep, and then slowly exhale that air right out of your mouth. And do that at least 5 times between now and bedtime. And actually, you can do it a whole lot more often, especially if you're already whooped, because, man, when you put oxygen in the system, you're about to enter into the world of helping your adrenal. And, yes, you need to get 8 hours of sleep. You need to try to get to bed at least by 11 p.m. Because let me tell you, from 11 p.m. to 12 midnight to 1 a.m., that 2-hour span is where your pituitary system in your brain does most of the refabrication, most of the rejuvenation. And if you're stealing yourself, if you're burning the candle by staying up too late, not giving yourself sufficient time to get sufficient rest, then you're the one that's missing. And guess what? You have a circadian cycle. You are built like the birds. And if you're on a night shift, if you're working night till daylight, you're in a mess. So that's when melatonin becomes your big help to reset your bird cycle. But for those of us who do go to bed at dark 30 and wake up at sunrise, try to make your 7:30, at least try to make it to where you can sleep until about 7:30 if feasible, so that things can happen. And look, just say no when you have too much on your plate. Learn, if your platter is full, come on down and say N-O. And then learn how to become somebody who can delegate. Put it out there. Come on, people, help me with the workload. If you're the family member that's doing it all, everybody can pitch in to make up the bed, wash the clothes, do the dishes, cook the dinner. Everybody has a little bit of doing this and that. And I promise you that what's in that wellness is like 10 fruits and vegetables. But it's a whole lot better for you to chew on the strawberry and the grape and the pecan and the walnut, and it's better to have a peach, and it's better to have a pear and a plum. It's good to have vegetables, to eat the sweet potato, to get the collards, to get the turnips, to get the broccoli, to get the cabbage. Those things are very packed with extra special nutrition. And when you put a wellness with your fruit and vegetable, it'll make sure that you get all the gumption right out of it. And obviously, when you get around Rick and when you get around Kent and when you get around Ryan and when you get around the Bezai family, you're going to find out that, you know what, attitude has a lot to do with everything. And you can have a better than good day. And if you will, just put a smile on your face. It's a lot easier to smile. And anytime you allow yourself to stay in control, just purge those old negative emotions and become more exhilarating. Just say to yourself, yes, this is a better than good day. And let your brain believe it and know that it is. And when you get all that stuff out of the way, I go through, I teach young kids, and I teach high school kids, and I teach college kids, and I teach grown-ups lots and lots of different things. But I always tell them, there's one simple rule that we all learned from our mom and our grandmama. And if you're somebody tonight that would love to be appreciated, or love to be encouraged, or love to be loved, or love to be heard, or love just to be forgiven, then you know what? The golden rule says, do it unto others. And it always just comes back. You reap it. You'll reap the good. You'll reap the appreciation. You'll reap the encouragement. You'll reap the love. You'll reap the hearing and heard. You'll reap the unforgiveness. Yes, you will. You fight stress naturally, and it begins with the power of the wellness function. And I can't wait till next Saturday to tell you something brand new. in the VSI family. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good thing. And when we see what we've got, when we see that we have the nutrition that increases resistance of the body to the chemical, the biological, and the physical stressors, wow, isn't that neat? And it's all right there in the VSI family. So welcome to good health and good nutrition. And Rick, that's the rest of the story.
Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Rouse, and appreciate this information that we cover every single Thursday. And we know a lot of people out there. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis that they cannot explain why they're just so tired and why they're always dragging. And this may be information that's going to connect with a lot of those people. Really, really important. And so we thank you for sharing tonight. And we thank all of you for being on the webinar here this evening. And we look forward to having you on our next call, our next webinar, and we appreciate, again, your attendance tonight. So have a great evening, everyone, and we'll talk with you again real, real soon.